right, haves and have not fans. Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, who are, well, on the channel. Or if you're a non-subscriber and you happen to be a mother watching this video, happy Mother's Day to you too. It is 9:45 p.m. This has been a slow day for me because, what was it, yesterday I listed about 400 items on my eBay store. Thank goodness some money's coming in from that. And then, a couple days before that, if you've been on the channel, you saw that I posted, if I'm not mistaken, about close to 20 videos, a mixture of oval, have and have not content. So, I had a pretty strong week. So I think that today being Lazy Sunday was well deserved on my part. And I wasn't going to do any videos at all, but I figured, again, it being Mother's Day, and the haves and the have-not social media pages and OWN have just been promoting the show like crazy, between today's post is dedicated to Jim Cryer, or hey, here's a quiz for you, whose first line of dialogue was, and then they'd go about listing a line of dialogue. So I figured, what better way than to just talk about the haves and the have-nots on Mother's Day. I was thinking about doing a video for each show, Sisters, Ruthless, The Oval, but to be completely honest, I don't think there's really any standout mothers from those shows. Now, I feel like Miss Lisa from Sisters, definitely, but when you think about it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Miss Lisa, Karen's mother, is the only mother I recall ever seeing in the show. Jasmine is a mother to, I don't know how many kids her and Gary have. I know one has special needs, but the fact that we've never seen her with the children, or the fact that we never seen these children in general, I feel like really takes away from that dynamic. And technically Miss Irene, we know she's the mother of Paris, even though I could have sworn up and down in her original appearance it was Paris's grandmother. But Miss Irene is one of the best characters in general, so I don't feel like that really, there's not a lot of competition in that show. In the Oval, I don't think Maude or Victoria would be winning Mother of the Year from any child they have. Nancy is a hard no, and yeah, so I think in Ruthless, you bring your kids to a cult, that's hard no for me. Miss Alice from Bruh, she got her moments, but so I feel like it's best to kind of hang with the haves and the have-nots. Feel free to disagree. If there's any convincing comments in the comment section below, it's like, well, Jeremy, how about this mother? Then yeah, you make a good point, and even if I don't get that comment until after today, I'll probably do a follow-up Mother's Day video. But for simplicity's sake, I thought it was pretty interesting to stick with just the haves and the have-nots. So before going further in the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, so hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon, and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content to the channel. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. This is a bit of a stretch, but in my personal opinion, I think that there are only two contenders for who I would say are the best mothers in the show. Because when I think about who is a good mother, maybe not necessarily great, but just good in general, how many mothers in the show have had their lives potentially threatened by their own children? Think about that. Candace, she's pretty much wished death on Hannah for the first few seasons, and hell, she even had Lord have mercy, I done forgot the boy's name. It was the guy that went into the house to threaten Hannah for the money, but then Hannah stabbed him in the shoulder, and then he ran out to the van, and RK said he was dead, then Candace set the van on fire. Was it Malik? I think it was Malik. And Hannah is as good a mother as you would expect, but I don't think she's the best mother, in my personal opinion. And if you go back to, let's say my have and have not videos from the last batch of episodes we got, then you know that I think one of her weakest points is the fact that she really doesn't allow her kids to face the consequences of their actions. I mean, and I'm not going to get into it here. Trust and believe. You know how I feel about the money. Go ahead and watch those videos, but I'm not going to say Hannah's the best mother. Catherine either. I just feel like in the same vein as Hannah, you need to let these children face the consequences of their action. I mean, hell, both Amanda and Wyatt have both tried to kill her. Do I really need to add Veronica in here? I feel like it goes without questions, from the defibrillator to stabbing her to throwing her off the balcony of the stairs. No. Veronica is a big no. So when I thought about all the character rosters, all the characters in the rosters for the show, I think it comes down to two, but I do feel like there's one that stands out above the rest. The two mothers I put in consideration. No, I don't count Candace Young, but Quincy Jr. because of how things turned out. She literally abandoned her son. So I think that it's a question of Celine or Mama Rose. Jeremy, those two characters? Yes, I dare say these two are contenders for the best mothers in the show. I mean, Celine, for me personally, and it depends on if Tyler Perry retconned this or not. And once again, similar to the whole Hannah and the consequences thing, I'm not going into full detail because I've done multiple videos talking about how Celine should, in theory, be sitting on millions that Jim Cryer has paid her over the years in child support. Now, I always theorized the fact that she lived in the have-not part of town and, is apparently working the two jobs at the hospital and at a burger joint. It's like, and she even said her oldest boy, Carlos, had to work his way to go to college and whatnot, unlike Wyatt, who had everything handed to him. I was thinking what had probably happened was that she never touched a cent of the child support money, aside from like the basic necessities like rent and food. And she always thought that money was nothing. She thought, Jim was always going to come back to her. So she wanted to prove that it wasn't about the money. It was just about Jim coming back to be a father and be with her instead of being with Catherine and then his other two kids in a big mansion. However, I don't think her sons knew about the money. So they probably had this poor depiction of Jim as a shit father who didn't provide or care for his children or his sons with Celine. But in reality, it was Celine withholding money and knowledge from her children. So I feel like, depending on how that's retconned, if it is or isn't, I'd say that Celine does love her sons, but at the same time they hate their father, which could be based on a false narrative that their mother presented to them. But then again, based off how Jim treats both of his outside children to their face, I don't think any kind of exaggeration was made when, you compare what these boys think of their father compared to how Jim actually is. But remember, we're really focusing on the mothers here, but I do think the whole money thing is her holding back, or just based off the fact that if little Jimmy was aged up like 20 years when he was like a young kid when he first appeared in the series, I'm guessing Tyler Perry just decided to, or he probably forgot that Jim did pay millions, but he cut Celine off the moment that she went on TV, which he literally said on screen. But I will say Mama Rose is the other contender for the best mother in the series because of the fact that, she runs an entire mobster organization. Her family fears and respects her. I mean, just based off how Vinny treated her, like, getting her a chair and stuff like that. Hey, mama, and this little stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, we really haven't seen too much interaction. Not to mention, I don't recall if we ever learned how many children she has opposed from family members. So I'll say that Mama Rose is a top contender. I would say either Celine or Mama Rose is the best mother in the show. If you feel like there's another candidate, again, feel free to comment below with your thoughts. And as always, thanks so much for tuning into the channel. If you want to donate, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next video.